Hello, I'm Alisa from School of Liberal Arts, Sukhothai Thammathirat Open University.
And I'm Jay. Welcome to Culture Me, where we talk about cultural issues and differences. If you have any questions or comments, please email us at stoucultureme@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/stoucultureme. And don't forget to like us.
สวัสดีค่ะรายการนี้เป็นรายการที่25ของ Culture Me Show นะคะถ้าท่านผู้ฟังมีข้อคิดเห็นหรือคำถามใดก็ส่งมาได้ที่อีเมลหรือเข้าไปที่ Facebook ของเรานะคะจะได้แลกเปลี่ยนความคิดเห็นกันนะคะซึ่งในรายการสุดท้ายเราจะมาพูดกันถึงคำถามต่างๆที่มีผู้ฟังส่งมานะคะอาจารย์ last time we talked about technical terms and how to pronounce it. Now we are moving to brand names and places.
Yes.
Because they are so, nowadays we can see things from all over the world, not so limited like the old days. I mean, because in the old days you just have newspaper, right?
Exactly.
And you read by your eyes, so it's not so important to speak out or to pronounce it, but nowadays from mobile phone and internet, and you know things from all over the world, and it has some kinds of very difficult to pronounce correctly. I mean,
exactly. And now a lot of foreign brands are coming to Thailand, and the pronunciation, so that people can find it, and so that when you're communicating with someone, I bought this at this store, so that you recognize different pronunciations.
But
again,
of the same brand. we seems to adopt things to be easier to pronounce for us.
Exactly.
But it doesn't hurt to know the real pronunciation.
Right.
Like this very very famous. What is it? It's a shopping store for many things, I think.
Yeah.
In Thai we call IKEA, Jan. So
right.
How do you pronounce it?
Well, there are different ways. Actually, I pronounce it IKEA.
I will never know at this place in Thailand.
And that's why I had a lot of trouble getting a taxi driver to take me there the first time. IKEA made a decision when they went to the United States back in the 1980s, and they made a decision to pronounce it differently. And because they thought that's how most Americans would pronounce it, would be IKEA. And when they came to Thailand, they did the same thing. They thought most Thais would pronounce it Iki. How is it? IKEA. And so they did that. But the actual correct pronunciation in Swedish is IKEA. It's IKEA. But it makes it so confusing. It makes it so confusing. If you know it, it's fine that there are different pronunciations of it. But it makes it difficult if a foreigner is here and they want to go to IKEA. That's how most foreigners are going to say it, unless they're from Sweden, and then they'll say IKEA.
And this very very popular mobile phone and television and lots of things in Thailand from Korea.
Yes. Samsung.
Samsung. We call Samsung.
But the Korean is Samsung. Some Americans pronounce it Samsung.
That's even more strange to me.
Exactly.
But
but yes, it's like sing sang sung. It's Samsung.
And these American shoes and clothing very popular.
Nike, Nike, is
this
actually
one
Nike.
seem international. And this car, Jan, in Thailand we call Chevrolet, but actually
it's actually Chevrolet.
You don't pronounce the T, right?
It's right. It's an American company, but the man who started the company over 100 years ago, he was actually French and of French ancestry, and so and that was his name, Chevrolet.
And what about this French car?
Peugeot.
This is Peugeot from French.
Peugeot is French. Yes, it's a French car. It's a French car. And tell me the pronunciation in Thai.
Peugeot. But I
I've
think
heard,
it's similar to French to Peugeot, right?
but it doesn't have the zh.
Yeah, not exactly, but
it's-
your yak in Thailand, Peugeot. And this clothing and accessory, อาจารย์ for men,
Hermes.
isn't it? Hermes.
Yeah,
Is it
and
for men?
it's Hermes, and it's a very expensive
Yeah, you
French
have to
clothing
have
store.
accent too, right? When you spell it in French.
Yes.
And another French one, Givenchy.
Givenchy.
Perfume and
Givenchy.
clothing. How do
Clothing
you
and
spell it,
perfume.
อาจารย์?
Givenchy. It looks like Givenchy, but it's
Givenchy.
Givenchy. Givenchy.
So very go-get in French, very smart.
Yes.
What about the German car? This one.
This one is often mispronounced in the United States also. It's Porche, and a lot of Americans wrongly pronounce it Porsche. It's actually Porsche.
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 Really?
Porsche.
I thought it was pronounced Porsche. Maybe I watched American movies.
Where they're not doing it correctly.
But in Thai, some people say Porsche in long time ago, อาจารย์ But now they call it Porsche.
Okay.
And this Belgian beer, อาจารย์
Yeah, I see this a lot in Thailand, and actually I had never heard of it until I moved to Thailand, and it's Hoegaarden, but it's actually pronounced Hoegaarden, like WHO. Yeah,
Hoegaarden. Not ho.
Not ho. Yeah.
And these Swiss watches like Breitling.
Yeah, Breitling. But it's spelled Breitling, but it's pronounced Breitling.
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 And Bulgari.
Bulgari is an Italian jewelry and luxury goods store, and it looks like Bulgari probably, but it's Bulgari.
And Louis Vuitton, very popular.
Yeah, Louis Vuitton.
And another Swiss watch.
Piaget.
Well, อาจารย์ so much for the brand names.
Yeah.
Very posh, in English they say like a very sort of expensive and good quality.
Yeah.
It's good quality.
Yeah, but
That's
many
why
of
it's
them
expensive.
are foreign names, and so they're difficult to pronounce.
อาจารย์ now we come to places. อาจารย์ it's also cause some problem too if you don't pronounce it correctly.
Exactly.
You may go to the wrong place.
Exactly.
If you book a ticket or something and by phone or unless you type it now on online.
Right.
But it doesn't hurt to pronounce it correctly, อาจารย์
It's necessary to know the pronunciation in different places.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you could, yes, like you said, end up at the wrong place.
Yeah, and the one that most people, from my students or colleagues sometimes pronounce it incorrectly is Illinois, อาจารย์ how do you spell Illinois?
Spelling. I'm American.
S.
We don't.
It ends with S.
Lillinois.
Yeah, so you don't pronounce the S
No,
at
it's
the end.
Illinois.
Like but you see
OY.
when in Thai we transcribe it, we put the S, with the equal letter, the S sounds with the another mark to say that it's not pronounced. But some people have like to pronounce this word.
Right.
So the correct one is Illinois.
Illinois. Yes, that's a state in the United States, and that's the state where the city Chicago
Yeah,
is.
Chicago. And what else, Ajahn, the states in the U.S. that cause some problems?
Well, there are many names of places that are pronounced differently even within the United States. And there are also places that are famous names that in some places are pronounced completely differently than you've ever heard.
And it doesn't I mean, pronounced. It wasn't pronounced according to the letters, to
Exactly.
alphabet. So that confused. I mean, English learners sometimes.
Exactly. It doesn't make any sense.
Like this Arkansas state, อาจารย์
Right. There, in the United States, there are two states that we're going to talk about. One is Kansas, Kansas, and then there's another state that it's Kansas, but with AR in front of it. But it's not pronounced Arkansas. It's pronounced Arkansas. Arkansas, like AW instead of AS. But the weirdest thing to me is in the state of Kansas, there is a city that is spelled ARKANSAS, but it's not Arkansas City, it's Arkansas City, Kansas. Yeah, very strange.
Very strange. So you have to learn by what, อาจารย์ Maybe you have to go to the place and people tell you, okay, this is not Arkansas, it's Arkansas.
Yes.
That's what I learned, อาจารย์
You just have to be observant. Very observant. And in Texas, there are a few funny ones. I'm from the city Houston, Texas.
Yeah, Houston is very pretty, อาจารย์ In Thai, in the long, according to, like what I said, to maybe transfer it to be easier to pronounce, we call it Houston. But you never know this, right? So it's Houston.
It's Houston. Yes. But in New York City, there's a street that's a fairly famous street, and it's spelled exactly the same way, but it's pronounced Houston.
Houston is
Street.
Strange.
Houston Street.
Houston.
Texas has a lot of strangely pronounced cities that it doesn't look anything like they're spelled. And here's what, the country, Italy, everyone knows that there's a country, Italy, okay? But in Texas, there's a city that's spelled exactly the same way, but it's pronounced Italy. Italy. Yeah. And there's also a city that's spelled Leakey, which looks like leaky, like a leaky faucet or something, but it's pronounced Lakey. Lakey. Yeah.
But it's fun too, to learn these things from different places.
Right.
I think it's fun. What about Hawaii?
Well, the word aloha in Hawaiian means hello or greetings. Like when you get off a plane in Hawaii, everyone says aloha, and that's the greeting. That's the hello. But in the state of Oregon in the United States, there is a city that's spelled the same way as aloha, but it's pronounced aloha. Aloha. Instead of aloha, it's aloha.
They don't pronounce the H.
Right. Right.
And what else do you want to share with us again?
There's the fabric that's called madras. It's that it's usually plaid and very colorful. And in American English, it's usually pronounced madras or madras. In British, it's madras. Madras. But there's also a city in Oregon, and they pronounce it Madras. Madras.
Yeah. Slightly different.
Slightly different.
What about this famous city like Delhi?
Yes.
And Seoul, in Thailand, long time ago, we used to, when I was young, which is long time ago, we learned that the city in India like Delhi or Seoul, but actually it's not. It's just has been changed lately to pronounce correctly as the original one.
Seoul.
Delhi and Seoul.
Okay. Delhi is a famous city in India, but there's a city in California that's spelled the same way, but it's pronounced Delhay. Delhay. How that came about, I have no idea. And everyone's heard of Madrid, Spain, very famous city. But there's a city called Madrid in Missouri, but they pronounce it Madrid. Madrid.
Prague,
very famous city in the Czech Republic. But in the state of Minnesota, there's a city called New Prague, but they pronounce it Prague.
Prague. Oh.
Prague. And the same in Oklahoma, there's a city Prague.
And Peru.
Peru, the country, versus Peru, Indiana, which they pronounce Piru. Piru. That's it, Piru. And Russia, everyone knows Russia, but there's a city that's spelled the same in Ohio, and they call it Rushi. Rushi.
Very cute, I think.
That was kind of cute, yeah.
What about in California, John? You have some influence of Mexican language, isn't it?
Spanish language, but actually until sometime around 1850, California was Mexico. It was part of Mexico. And so there were already some cities established. And so, of course, the names would be in Spanish. So there's La Jolla, California. It looks like La Jolla. It's Lajolla, but it's La Jolla. That's how it's pronounced in Spanish. And also Ojai, California, but it's spelled Ojai, but pronounced Ojai. And San Jose, S-A-N, and then next word J-O-S-E. But okay, so California, was part of Mexico, and still it's very close, and so they've had a lot of influence on the language from Mexico. And but other places that are farther away from Mexico, like in Illinois, they have a city that's spelled exactly the same, but they pronounce it San Jose, instead of San Jose.
So if you book a plane ticket to San Jose, then you go to Illinois.
Exactly.
And if you San Jose,
then you
go to California.
That's right. And so in winter, San Jose is lovely. In winter, San Jose is very, very cold and snowy. So it could be miserable.
John, what about this storm, hurricane? John?
The storm, a hurricane is, which we spoke about on a previous show. A hurricane is a storm that usually brings a lot of rain and high winds, and it comes from the water. It's in coastal regions, but there are cities, none of which are actually where hurricanes usually occur. But they pronounce the cities differently. In West Virginia, in Utah, and in Mississippi, but they pronounce the cities hurricane. So hurricane, the storm, the city's hurricane.
Oh, I see. And what about this looks cute name in Florida, John, from the Disney World?
Yeah, Disney World, many people sometimes it's advertised as being in Orlando, but it's actually not. It's actually not in Orlando. It's right beside Orlando. It's actually in a city called Kissimmee, and it's an Indian word, and it's Kissimmee. It's pronounced Kissimmee, and that's where Disney World is in Florida.
And
Louisville, Colorado, Louisville, Georgia, Louisville, Ohio, but Louisville, Kentucky, which they actually pronounce it more like Louisville.
John, let's move to the UK for some words that we interested in, because it's pronounced totally different from what it looks, John.
Exactly.
And the first one, this one, John.
Cester, C-E-S-T-E-R, words that end with that. Like the town that looks like Gloucester, it's actually pronounced Gloucester.
Yeah, and Leicester Square too, L-E-I-C-E-S-T-E-R. And another 2 or 3, Ajahn, the G-H.
G-H, and it's actually silent. It's silent, you don't say it. So there's a famous castle that's looks like Brougham, Brougham, but it's actually pronounced broom. Broom.
And one that pronounced wrongly often, Ajahn, sheer.
The ending
S-H-I-R-E.
shire, it's actually sure, pronounced sure, like Cheshire.
Yeah, like Berkshire, not shire.
Not Shire, not Shire. It looks like Shire, but it's sure.
And this W thing is another two words.
Which, W-I-C-H, the W is silent. It's actually like the town looks like Norwich. It's actually Norwich.
Norwich.
Yeah.
And
W-I-C-K looks like Wick, but like the town looks like Keswick. It's actually Keswick.
yeah, and the university Warwick, right? Where you spell W-A-R-W-I-C-K. Yeah, so it's I think it's important to pronounce the name correctly, and it's fun to learn. You may be, pronounce it wrongly for the first time, but you can learn.
Yeah,
later.
you can learn. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ajahn.
Thanks for joining us.